All right, guys, we are live. So, as you saw from the thumbnail of this video and the title, I had a very, very cool milestone in my dividend portfolio this week. Actually, it was a really good week in terms of dividend income milestones. You guys probably saw, hopefully you saw my video from Wednesday where I talked about another milestone. We can touch on that a little bit. But anyway, in tonight's dividend happy hour, guys, we're just going to, I guess more than anything, we're just going to celebrate this cool little milestone. There's not really any spoilers either because I already put it in the thumbnail. So anyway, cool stuff in tonight's stream. It's going to be a fun one. I don't really have anything too crazy planned. Just like I said, more than anything, it's going to be a little bit of a celebration for hitting this milestone. But anyway, before we get into that, before we talk about that at all, welcome to another Dividend Happy Hour. I'm so excited to be back with you guys for another week. Hope you guys had a fantastic week. Hope everything is well in your portfolios and in your neck of the woods. Why don't we kick it off with a quick cheers, okay? And I'm just sipping water tonight, guys. I'll tell you about that in a moment. But anyway, here's to the dividends that pay our bills and fund our thrills. May they flow endlessly. And also here's to you guys. I appreciate you tuning in this week. Now, one thing, I know I've got some questions for you guys, but I was just thinking, I still don't feel like the toast is quite right. I still feel like I need to switch things up a little bit. So I'm going to keep working on a cheers, working on something. But also, I've got some questions for you guys. Number one, let me know in the live chat. What did you buy this week? Which stock did you add to? I'm curious to know what you guys picked up in your portfolio. I personally had a nice little realty income shopping spree. I picked up 7 shares this week, and this may be the last time, at least for a little bit, that I add to realty income. But anyway, that definitely helped in terms of reaching this milestone. But anyway, let me know what you guys picked up this week. Number 2, let me know what you are sipping on tonight for the dividend happy hour. And also number 3, did anything cool happen in your guys' portfolio this week? Did you guys hit any milestones over there in your neck of the woods? Let me know all those things in the live chat or in the comments below if you're watching the replay now. As far as what I'm drinking, like I said, I just got some water. This is just some flavored water. In fact, I was a few seconds late to starting this stream, which I apologize for. I was a few seconds late because I had to fill up my water, stir up my blue Skittle flavoring in there. And that's all I'm sipping on tonight. And I had a couple of you guys reach out to me on Instagram and Twitter, just DMing me, messaging me like, hey, you going to have a margarita? A couple of you guys commented on the community post I put out about me having a margarita. And I keep forgetting, this is like the second week in a row that I said I was going to have a margarita with you guys on the stream. But I actually had a couple of them last night. Had a cool little night, just, hung out, had a kind of celebrating the milestone, and had a couple margs and watched a James Bond movie. So anyway, I had a couple last night and I was feeling it today. I'm not going to lie, a little bit. And so I just did not want to have any more elk. I got to hydrate. I got to rehydrate today. So I'm keeping it clean. I'm sticking with water. But anyway, I want to go through the chat real quick and say what's up to you guys. Say hi to everyone here. It looks like there's about 75 of us in the stream so far. So let's see. Let's go up here. I see Luis. What's up, Luis? I see my man Ben here. I got Anthony in the building. We have Rye the Investa Guy. We got Shizo. Will. What's up, Will? Lucas, what's going on, man? Cheers to you. Haas, what's going on, Haas? Dominique, how are you? Excuse me, we got Shamir. What's up, Shamir? How you doing, man? Fast Eddie, what's going on, Eddie? Daniel, what's going on? Daniel says, Ryan, you live near Vegas, right? I'm debating on visiting. Man, I am not near Vegas. I am here in Vegas. I am here in Sin City. Been living here for about a year now. Absolutely love it. But let me know if you come to town and I'll try and get together. Someone reached out to me. I think a newsletter reader reached out to me last week and was in town from Oregon and asked about getting together, but my parents were in town, and so I was not able to do that. But if I'm around, I'd love to get together. I don't know if you guys know who Dividend Dog is. I think he's more active. I mean, he's got a YouTube channel. He's got a podcast. I know he's active on Twitter. Really nice guy. His name's Ted. He's actually coming to town this weekend. I think he's coming into town on Sunday, and I'm going to try and get together with him. So that will be fun. But anyway, let's keep going. So long story short, if you guys are in town, come to town, let me know, and I'd love to try and meet up if it works out. Maybe have a margarita or something. Anyway, Rick, what is going on? Rick El Dynamico, representing West Sac in the building. Coyote, what's going on? We got Matt, first time watching. Normally I listen podcast style in the gym. Nice. Excited to be here. And that's another reason I didn't want to have a cocktail tonight, to be honest. As soon as the stream ends, I think I'm going to go get a workout in. Have not gotten my workout in today, and so I want to get that done. So I think once the stream stops, I'm just going to go hit the gym and get that in real quick. And gym and alcohol do not mix. So we've got was GDJ. What's going on? It says KRC is on sale. Indeed, it is, my friend. We got Pat in the building. David, Nels, Will. I think I said what's up to Will already. Josh, what's up, Josh? Phil. Hey, Ryan, great to see you join Blossom. I believe you're the first U.S. YouTuber there. Historic moment. Man, well, I think I am too. And I'm honored to be over there. I'm really enjoying the Blossom platform so far. I got to shout out my man Brandon Beavis, who sometimes tunes into the stream. I actually had about a month ago, maybe, I had a great chat with him. We hopped on a Zoom call, and that was my first time talking to him. Really nice guy, and yeah, really cool. A lot of finance creators right now are at FinCon. I don't know if you guys are familiar with FinCon, but it's just a big. I think it's more tailored to creators in the finance space, which I wish and hope that they expand it to be something that's interesting to people who are not just creators. But it's basically a big convention for finance creators in New Orleans this year. I know the whole Blossom team is there right now, and myself and Professor G earlier this year, we talked about going this year together and seeing what it's all about, and obviously did not. But next year 100%. I texted Noah and I said, dude, we got to go. We've got to go next year. 100%. We've got to check out FinCon, and so yeah, 100% next year. Pretty sure we're going. So I don't know. Maybe we do a FinCon thing next year as the dividend investing community takes FinCon. We'll see what happens. Charles, what is going on? I think I said what's up to Charles already too. I'm all over the place tonight, guys. Truthfully, I didn't. I usually when I do these streams, I usually prep something. I've got my notes, got a direction, whole thing. It's honestly not unlike a normal video. I spent a decent amount of time prepping these streams, although sometimes I'm so loosey-goosey it just feels like I just throw it together in a minute. But I actually did not plan anything tonight. I figured we'd do this one raw, uncut, off the top, and cold classic, red, white, and me, and just see what happens. But anyway, let's see. We got Carlos, who good little purchases here, some Altry Group and General Parts, or Genuine Parts, excuse me. Let's see, Anthony with some SCHD. Top of the usual DCA. Oh, cool, Rick. Drinking water, running a 5K in the morning. Good stuff, man. That's great. Let's see. Teresa picked up some Procter & Gamble. Can't go wrong there. This is cool, actually. Look at this, guys. Luis, no big purchases, but set to reach close to $600 per month by the end of the year. That's incredible. So that's over that's $7,000, about $7,000 in annual dividend income. So Luis, great job, man. Very nice. Let's see here. Yeah, and then Jay says, WP Carry, nice high dividend. Yeah, it actually paid, I think they paid this week, right? I don't know about you guys, but it was a really solid week of dividends for me. Let me pull up my payments for this week and tell you a little bit about it. If you guys checked out the newsletter, if you saw this week's edition of the newsletter, which if you did not, there is a link in the description to read the most recent edition. It went out yesterday morning. I send them out every Thursday, bright and early, so you can get it delivered straight to your inbox, my email newsletter. I highly recommend you guys check it out. At the very least, go in the description and check out this week's. Give it a read. It talks about some of my dividend income milestones from, well, my big dividend income milestone this week. Not the one we're talking about tonight, which we will get into, but another one. The one that I was talking about on Wednesday's video. Okay, guys, so let me tell you about my dividends this week. I had almost just short of $100 week. So I had WP Carry about $32, nice payment. Main Street Capital, decent, about $9.25. Blue Owl Capital Corporation, almost $40. Okay, Realty Income coming in at about $13.50. And that was a week ago. Some of these were last Friday. KRC, I had a nice KRC dividend this month too, about $41.50. So anyway, officially too, Realty Income with this week's purchase is now my highest dividend income generator across my entire portfolio. It was Altria Group up until a couple days ago. Anyway, Pat here bought a new car and using dividends to pay double payments. Nice, man. Fast Eddie, which James Bond movie? I watched No Time to Die, which is the most recent one. I hadn't seen the full movie when it first came out. I tried to watch it, and I don't know what it was when it first came out. I tried watching it, I just couldn't get through it. I turned it off probably less than halfway into the movie, and so last night I was in the mood to watch some James Bond movie, and I've seen Casino Royale 100 times. I've seen Quantum of Solace is okay. It's not my favorite. I really wanted to watch Spectre. That would have been my first choice, but I couldn't find anywhere to stream it. It's on, I think it's on, I don't know. Like, I couldn't find anywhere to stream it. So I settled for No Time to Die. And I actually, for the most part, I'd say I enjoyed it. It was better than it was the first time I watched it. I don't want to spoil anything, but I don't know. I think it's kind of weird. I think it's kind of weird how they ended it. I just didn't really see the point of ending it that way, because James Bond is a character that he lives on forever. You know what I mean? He's kind of like Batman, and different people will come in and play the role. So I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going here. Yeah, Lucas says, was it the George Lazenby one? No. Let's see. And also, Teresa, like button for Ryan. Yeah, thank you so much. There's 125 of us in the stream right now. If there's not 125 likes on this video yet, we're gonna have some problems. I'll find you, and we'll deal with it. Just joking, obviously. Let's see. Dominique had some nice pickups. PFLT, Vu, Devo, AT&T, who had some nice earnings. Oh no, Telis or Telis. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's the Canadian telecom company. Excuse me. We got Dan the Man in the building. Let's go, Ryan. Thanks, Dan. Good to see you, man. Let's see here. What else we got? Let's keep going. And I'm sorry, guys. I'll get into the. We'll expedite this a little bit, get caught up, so we can go through the milestone real quick, because I do have some thoughts on it. It's nothing too crazy. Anyway, Luis here says you're gonna have to become our tour guide. Make it to the Punk Rock Museum at some point. Yeah, I'd love to, man. Like we were talking about, I have not been yet. I'm waiting for Russ and Harris to come to town, and I'm texting those guys right now, or I was prior to the stream. We have a Vegas trip planned. I don't know exactly when, but those guys are gonna come out to Vegas for a couple days or something, and when that happens, I want to plan an in-person Dividend happy hour. So I don't know if that'll be the first in-person Dividend happy hour, because I've talked about doing that before, but I'd love to do that when they're here. But anyway, we got Svetlin in the building, first time watching. Great to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the stream. It's not usually this kind of all over the place. There's usually like more of a direction, more of a, I guess, cohesive format with these streams. But tonight we're just riffing. We're seeing where it goes. Anyway, let's keep going. Oh, there you go. Shizo, today was my first 225-pound bench press, so I treated myself with 3 shares of Vici. Man, that's great. 225 is a huge milestone. 2 plates on each side. Great job. That's fantastic. That's no small feat, so congratulations. Let's see. Okay, I see some questions from Phil. Phil, stay tuned. Circle back on that one. I'll circle back on that one, or ask it again later on in the chat, because I'm about to go through this milestone. And like I said, yeah, Ryan mentioned KRC, but someone brought up KRC. So, okay, and with that in mind, actually, for those of you who don't know, we do have a Dividend happy hour drinking game. We're still building it out, okay, but the rules so far are in the description of the video. You can check them out there. And so anytime those things happen, you got to shout it out in the live chat, unless they don't happen too often, but when they do, I'm usually pretty good about catching it. If I don't, you got to shout it out in the live chat, and everyone's got to take a drink. Let's see here. I see some more James Bond talk. Louis says, take your time. Yeah. Louis says, let us know the date to start accruing some wife points to go. Yeah, I definitely will. Mr. Wright. Okay, some really good questions. How did you and Professor G meet? All that stuff. Okay. Stay tuned. Ask me again in just a couple of minutes, because I don't want to keep rambling. I want to talk to you guys about this milestone, and let's actually go over to the screen real quick. So here we are over on my dividend portfolio tracking spreadsheet, which you guys have heard me say this before, but you can start using the spreadsheet for free. There is a link to download it in the description of the video. But going back over here, guys, here on the dashboard page, tons of great information. We've got the market value, the day gain, total return, market return on my portfolio, stuff like that. And now one thing I actually just included, which whenever I get around to making version 7.0 of this spreadsheet and releasing it, the dashboard and the positions page will now have the weighted dividend growth rate of your portfolio. So I think that's an addition that's long overdue. The downside to this is that here's all the dividend growth rates. This is manually input. So this is the downside. You'll have to manually input this information, but it's not something you'll have to change all too often, fortunately. But anyway, there is no way to, as far as I know, to manually or to automatically scrape this from the internet, so you have to manually input it for now. But anyway, guys, going back over here on this dashboard page, this is both my portfolios combined. So my main taxable brokerage account on Charles Schwab, which is my my main portfolio that I talk about all the time, and my Roth IRA, which I don't talk about nearly as often. I'll tell you guys a little bit about it in the in my monthly portfolio update videos. But this portfolio is it just kind of runs and grows in the background. I contribute to it every week. It's got about $5,000 in it, and I used to have 4 different ETFs in here: SCHD, VU, VBR, and VYMI. But sometime in the last month, I didn't talk about this until now. Sometime in the last month, I actually just consolidated this down to SCHD and VU. So it's much more simplified. The downside is I did get rid of some international exposure, I guess, but a lot of these companies do have international exposure. They're just based here in the United States. But anyway, this is the Roth IRA, very simple, very basic. Like I said, I contribute to this every single week, and I actually just upped my contributions for the Roth today. So I'm gonna work on continuing to do that. Where was I? Okay, but anyway, this dashboard page right here combines these two portfolios. So in the main one, this portfolio is bringing in $2,272, let's call it, of annual dividend income, which amounts to about $190 every single month. This is, going to be where most of my income is coming from. I just started this Roth within the last, well, I guess it's been about 2 years now that I've been building it. And I'm not contributing as much to it as I am my main taxable brokerage account. But anyway, this is bringing in just under $150 every single year. Now, in total, guys, with both these portfolios combined, this is the milestone. I'm now bringing in with both of these portfolios $2,417.51, which amounts to an average dividend income every single month of about $201, $201.50, let's call it. But the milestone is now being at a point where I'm averaging $200 every single month in dividends. And I can't tell you guys how, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not going to retire off this amount of money, right? $200 a month, cool. But $200 is also not nothing. I've been working towards this milestone. I've only been really seriously investing for, I guess, coming up on 4 years here pretty soon. And I've been working towards this milestone. I'm really looking forward to this particular one for a while. I'd say when you first get started, some of the more exciting benchmarks are, at least for me, this was the case for me and is the case for me. Some of the more exciting benchmarks have been, obviously your first dividend, your first, $10 or so. That feels pretty cool because you can start buying. You can go to Starbucks, you go to whatever with $10. $10, your first $50, and then the same things, just averages, averaging $10 a month, averaging $50 a month, averaging $100 a month is huge. That's like one of the, and even your first $100 a month of income, super exciting. It's not, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a whole lot of money, but man, $100 that you didn't have to work towards or work for, didn't have to lift a finger for. $200 now coming in every single month that you don't have to lift a finger for the knock on wood, for the rest of your life. Like I said, I'm not going to retire off this, but to me, this is huge. This is one that I've been especially excited about, and my goal was to hit this by the end of the year, and I'm glad to see that I was able to cross it, a little bit more expeditiously than that, ahead of schedule, if you will. And like I said, this isn't going to, it's not a huge amount of money, but man, $200 every single month can pay for a lot. For me, these are my groceries. I average about $50 per week in groceries. Between my fiance and I, about $100 a week. So divided by two, $50 per person. This is my groceries for the rest of my life. This is more than, a car insurance payment. This is a date night, a nice date night. A couple, if you go to Juan's Flamin' Fajitas, this is date night every single week. So anyway, the point is there's a lot of stuff that $200 every single month can pay for. And just knowing that this will be coming in perpetuity forever is a really cool thought. And in my mind, obviously every contribution, every dividend received and reinvested is just one step closer to reaching financial freedom. And in my mind, every step that you take towards reaching that number, whatever it is for you, right? We all have our FIRE numbers, our goal income numbers. But, every additional penny added to this rolling count of your dividend income, your projection right here, every single inch that you gain is just a little bit more of a weight off your shoulders. At least that's what it feels like for me. $200, it's you're just going to keep reinvesting these dividends and don't plan to spend them. But if things ever got tight, if I ever got in a pinch, if anything ever happened, I'm really going to think of a worst case scenario right now. Let's say somehow I become homeless or something terrible happens. This is still going to be coming in. And, like I said, it's just a little bit more of a weight off your shoulders. And the cool thing is this first 200, like I said, I've been in dividend investing seriously for about 4 years or so now. Less than 4 years, coming up on 4 years, probably sometime in the next 4 or 5 months, I think. I don't know exactly. But the next 200, averaging $400 every single month is going to come in less time than it took to get this first 200. And so that's the cool thing too. Dividend investing is a slow burn. It's not building wealth with this, as you guys know, is not something that comes fast, and it's not something that comes necessarily easy. And patience, the patience aspect is the hardest part, and staying consistent and staying disciplined is the hardest part. But along the way, you're constantly met with these milestones and these new benchmarks and what I call small victories. Each time something like this happens, your first $10, your first $50, your first $100, averaging $100 a month, $150 a month, whatever it is. These are all small victories that are all worth celebrating and are also symbolic of the actions that you've taken as an investor, because it would not be possible if you weren't committed to it, if you didn't stay disciplined, and if you didn't consistently continue to invest and believe in the process when there are so many, sometimes seemingly there are so many reasons not to. It's slow. Sometimes especially when you're first starting out, it feels like you're hardly moving the needle. There's just so many things that can detract you from staying consistent and staying disciplined with this. And there are so many other things you would rather be spending your money on, rightfully so. But when these things happen, when you reach these benchmarks like this, and just knowing that every single day there's $6.62 coming in that can be used for whatever, and you don't have to do anything for it, and it's always going to be there. I don't know, just knowing that is exciting, and to me makes it all worth it, and is also, it just kind of keeps you motivated, I suppose, is the best way to put it. So, let me see. I definitely need to get caught up here in the live chat. I've been rambling, and I'm a bit behind. So let me see what you guys have to say here. Yeah, thank you guys. I see a lot of support here in the live chat. I really appreciate all the support. And with that said, this is something I did want to mention. A lot of you guys know I do create this content stuff full time. YouTube, newsletter, this is my quote unquote 9 to 5. This is my full-time job. This is my gig. And so all the contributions that I'm able to make and all the growth that I've been able to accrue in this portfolio so far, it happens as a result of just all your guys' support. I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to invest in my portfolio if I didn't have the money to do it. I wouldn't have the money to do it if I didn't have the support from you guys who continually watch this channel and tune into these live streams and leave the comments and read the newsletters and respond to the newsletters and all that jazz. So, this is all, thanks to you guys. So thank you so much. I do want to thank you. And I say that a lot too. I toot your guys' horn so much, but I really am thankful for all the support. So, with that said, guys, I want to know from you. You know, well, I kind of asked too about the milestone, but earlier in the stream. But what's been the most recent cool, like I guess milestone? What's been the most recent benchmark that you guys have crossed? Has it been your first $100 month? Your first, you're averaging $100 a month, $150 a month, $200. I see, like Deslock here says in the off months he's averaging $500 a month. What's been the most recent benchmark or the most recent milestone that you guys have hit? Or alternatively, as an alternative question, what's the one that's coming up next for you? I think that's an even better question. What's coming up for you guys? What's your version of this? What are you working towards right now? What's going to be the next exciting benchmark for you guys? I'm curious to know. So let me know in the live chat, and also let me know in the comments below. And also, too, guys, as you guys are submitting that, I got to give a shout out to my man Jack Murphy, who, Jack, I always forget how old you are, but guys, we always, all of us say that we wish we would have started earlier. Jack is he's not taking anything for granted. Jack is still in his teens, and he's crushing it. He's got a great channel where he talks about his dividend investing. He started super young, so he's doing what we all wish we could have done. And so, Jack, I just want to give you a quick shout out and say good work, my friend. And that goes out to all of you, all you guys out there who are on the younger side. Well, really anyone in general who's investing. But yeah, when you're young, when you're that young, it's not an easy thing to get excited about. So my hat is off to those who do. Let's see here. Okay, Trayvon says $300 a month is the next milestone, I believe. So that's great. That's huge. Or Trayvon, I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name. Jay here says 10K in the portfolio. That's great. That'll be a really cool milestone as well. David, $1,200 per month in one portfolio. Dang. $1,200 per month. That is insane. I couldn't even imagine what that's like. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Korean Cardboard working towards $1,000 per year in dividends. Yep, that's a huge one. Once you get into the four figures, that's huge. Ghostwriter, $200 per month. Yep. Shizo, $1,000 per year. Rick just passed $2,000 per year, coming up on $175 per month. That's incredible. Michael, $100 per month in the portfolio, just around the corner. Great, man. That's fantastic. Oh, yeah, here we go. David, currently working towards 3K in dividends for the year. I would say, honestly, that's my next milestone as well. So 3K, that's 500 per month, right? No. Here we go, Ryan. 3K divided by 12. 250 per month. Excuse me, I was way off. Yeah, that's great. I would say that's probably my next milestone as well. 3K in annual dividend income or $250 per month. That's going to be the next thing I'm working towards for sure. And what I just showed you guys, this milestone, this was with both of my portfolios combined. So really, I guess more immediately what I'm working towards is $2,400 of annual dividend income just in my taxable brokerage account, just in my Charles Schwab. So just $200 a month in this portfolio is really like going to be the most immediate milestone. But along with that, in total with the combined, we're looking at $3,000 in dividend income per year. That's what's on deck. So next year, I think be able to get it next year for sure. Which is crazy to think. I think last year, guys, what is it? Yeah. So last year, if we go back over here, in 2022, I brought in about $1,800. Projected for 2023, it should end up being about $2,100, I believe, $2,200. So, and then obviously projected over the next 365 days, we're looking at $2,400. So I do think by the end of 2023, my projected annual dividend income, which is what this is, basically projecting the income from this point forward, I think I could hit $3,000. That's going to be the goal. So tune in to find out what happens. Let's see. Burn Survivor, $113 a month, currently hoping to hit $150 by the end of the year. Yeah, that's doable. Ah, man. Okay, so that's doable. Depends how much you're contributing to, though, right? So 150 minus 113, so we're looking at $37 by the end of the year. We got about 2 months left, so it's about $18.50 per month. Oh, that's totally doable. Yeah, you could do that. Let's see. Josh says next milestone is 10K in S&P 500 in the Roth. Yeah, that's a great one. Josh says after 5 months, $30 a month. Dude, after 5 months, that's great. Bringing in $30 a month, that's incredible. Wish you could do more, but life. Yeah, but like I was saying earlier, you build this thing, as my friend Harris would say, who's still watching, you build it one penny at a time. And that's really how it goes. Unless you have a large lump sum of money that you can invest right away, you build it brick by brick, one penny at a time. You just take baby steps with it. So, which I think is good. Ultimately, I think that's a good thing, especially considering a lot of us start doing this with little to no experience. So it's probably good to start small. Anyway, let's see. Matt here. This is great too. Just crossed $100 per month. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. That's great. Harris, my next milestone is $500 a year at $340 approximately right now. Yeah, that's incredible. So 160, dude, you could do that. 60. You could do that in the next. I would say you could do that. I don't remember exactly how much you're contributing, but you could definitely do that in the next. I think it's doable in the next 6 months. I do. Mario says, hi, Ryan. My first year of investing, great. And I'm close to $100 per month on average. Dude, that's incredible. You are really hitting the ground running. So great job. Great job. And El Dynamico said, I hit it. Oh, wow. I hit an unexpected milestone of $700 a year this month. Great job, man. Fantastic. Andy, I want to reach $100 per month by next year. You got that. Trey, $15 a month is the next milestone. Anthony, nearing my first $1,000 invested in the portfolio. Dude, that's great. You guys are awesome. You guys are killing it. CA's, $30 a month. I got that right? Yeah. Charles says, my biggest milestone is being able to put the full amount in both mine and my wife's Roth. Yeah. There you go. Journeyman, what's up, Journeyman? $240 annual dividend income in the taxable account. There you go. There you go. Let's see. Thomas, just started. Next milestone is $10 a year. Got to start somewhere. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's exactly it. Like I said, you build it brick by brick, inch by inch. If you look at mine, when I first started, so going all the way back to January, or this is February 2020. Actually, I don't even know if it'll let me. Let me see if I can zoom in here real quick. You guys see that okay? Yeah. Here we go. Let's see. So February 2020, no dividends, I believe. March, $3.88. April, none. $6.84. $13.57 in June. So, I started there too. At the very bottom, no dividends. $1.84, $8.86, $19.82. And about here is probably, even just here is probably like, oh, that's exciting. $13.50. I don't have to do anything. Take myself to In-N-Out Burger, celebrate. So yeah, you got to start somewhere, and it's cool to. That's part of the fun too, is being able to look back on the progress that you made. That's why I think it's important to track your portfolio, using something to track your portfolio. I love this spreadsheet for that. There's some other great trackers out there as well. Like you got the dividend tracker, you've got trackyourdividends.com. I know a lot of you guys have made your own spreadsheets, but something like this is good to have, just so you can reflect on your performance and really just see how far you've come. Because in the day-to-day, it's so easy to lose sight of that, and it's so easy to, like I said, feel earlier, you just feel like things are moving at a snail's pace, and sometimes they are. But, this kind of serves as a reminder of just how far you've come. Anyway, let's keep going. Carl, $365 per month is the next milestone. Wow, that's great. Yeah, that's incredible. Let's see. Wow. Dominique reached a solid over $1,000 average per month, not counting special distributions from the BDCs. Great job. That's incredible. Is Russ in here? I see Pat said, good evening, Russ. I haven't seen him in the chat. Let's see. Tortoise says, well, check out Tortoise's channel, guys. He posts his dividend investing journey on there as well. Doing a great job. Tortoise is 31 years old, so him and I are about the same age. Definitely check out his channel. he's putting out some great videos, so really fun to watch. So my first milestone is $500 per year, currently sitting a little over 100. Going to crank up what I put in a few months once the Jeep is paid off. There you go, man. Good stuff. Oh, Haas, this is great. $1,700 in annual dividend income by December 31st is the goal. Let's see. Okay. Rye here says, my milestone is averaging $2,500 per month in dividends. Nice. Wow. Hit 400 shares of SCHD and moved into my new house in Southwest Florida. Ah, gosh, dude, that's incredible. I can't even imagine what it feels like to bring in that much from dividends. Even $1,000, like an extra $1,000 a month. Gosh, and you know, when thinking about like what's the number that you'll reach and you feel like you've made it, or it's like you feel like you can kind of breathe a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, what's your number? Harris asked me this a while back, and I'd never thought about it before. This was a long time ago. And I think at the time, I don't remember exactly, but I think at the time I said like a couple $1,000s. If I could get to a point where I'm making $2,000 per month on average with dividends, you know, I would probably have no worries in the world. I'd probably be great. And you know, $2,000, once again, it's like that's not going to pay all of your bills. I don't know. Maybe at the time, I don't know. $2,000 could pay all of my bills right now. I know down the road that's certainly going to change. But you know, I look at that number and just add that to like what I'm able to make from YouTube and just doing this, which in itself sometimes feels like it's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. But man, it kind of feels like being semi-retired. And if I was to retire, if I had a job and was to retire, I'd probably do this anyway. So this is my thing. I plan to do this is in some whatever way, shape, or form that I can, in whatever way, shape, or form that it evolves forever. And so I look at like $2,000 as a nice supplement to what I'm already doing with this. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be totally fine then. Set. Let's see here. Yeah, you guys, it seems like you guys have a similar numbers too. I see $2,000 to 2,500. Yeah, $2,000. Yeah, Pat says, when I hit 1,500 per month, it was a great feeling. You can spend some and still have some to reinvest. Yeah, for sure. Carl says, replacing my annual income. Javon says, 5K a month is the main goal. Haas, $2,000, yeah. Kevin, already there. Nice. I get $100 per month in dividends and interest on my emergency fund. That is $100 left I have to contribute on a monthly basis to reach my $500 a month goal. Well, there you go, man. That's great. Yeah. So anyway, there were some questions that were, we've got about 20 minutes left in the stream. Oh, and then Dominique says her goal is $2,000 as well. Yeah, I think that's a nice number. You could do a lot with that. But anyway, there were some questions in the live chat from earlier that I said to circle back with me on, or to ask me again. So if you guys want to bring those up again, I'm more than happy to go through some questions. I'd love to do that. I see one right here from Lost Souls that says, did you use any dividend calculator? And if yes, what is the proper way to use it? Subscribe recently to your channel. Great work. Very motivating. This is a great question. Let me actually show you how I do this. Thank you so much for subscribing, by the way. I'm really stoked to hear that you're enjoying the channel, all you guys. So that means a lot. Thank you. But anyway, let's go over to the screen. I'll show you how I use a dividend calculator. So let's scroll up here. We're going to go to the marketbeat.com dividend calculator, which I wish I was able to get some sort of like affiliate commission from this. It's free to use, so you know that wouldn't make sense. But man, I pump this thing so much. But I use this all the time. This is my favorite dividend calculator tool. I even have like a future value calculator in my spreadsheet. But truth be told, I find myself using this one so much more. But anyway, how to use this? How do you use a dividend calculator like this? Well, for me, if I wanted to project what my portfolio will look like in the future, I just need to input what it looks like now, basically, right? So for me, I'll just go back over here to my spreadsheet. Okay, I'll start with my market value of 52,000. Let's call it 52,100, okay? So I'd put that in here, starting principal, 52,100. Okay, my starting dividend yield right now is 4.64%, and my portfolio's overall weighted dividend growth rate is 6.78%. So I can put those in right here. So 4.64% for my starting yield. Okay, now this growth rate though, this is what it's currently looking like right now. That's going to change over time. Hopefully it will go up, but it's also possible that it will go down. I want to be a little bit more conservative, and which, by the way, 6.78 is really not like a super high dividend growth rate. It's pretty medium. And I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with this split right here. I feel like I'm really getting the best of both worlds, but still, I'd be willing to sacrifice some yield to raise my dividend growth rate, and that's something I'm going to be working on for sure. This has been raised a bit more because I've been buying some of the high yielding REITs lately. But anyway, going back over here, we're going to be a little bit more conservative with the dividend growth rate. Let's just say 6%. I think that's pretty doable. And I want to use this is the tough one, the expected share price appreciation. Nobody knows the future, okay? And if we assume, an 8 to 10% total return for the market as a whole, historically, maybe I'll just use like a 5% share price appreciation moving forward. It could be more, it could be less. Hopefully it'll be more. Okay, but with the share price gain of 5%, plus my starting dividend yield of 4.6%, that gives me about almost a 10% total return, which is pretty generous. This may be off. I don't know, but that's what we're going to use, okay? This is the trickiest part is figuring out what number to use for this. But, I always try and be a little bit more conservative if I can. Distribution frequency, we're looking at monthly. And then annual contribution. This is a pretty easy one. So just, what do you invest every single month? Let's say month or week. What do you invest every single week? For me personally, between my two combined accounts, now that I just upped my contributions to the Roth, I'm looking at $215 contributed every single month. So multiply that times 52. That tells me that every single year, I'm investing $11,180. And the tax rate, I don't really know exactly what to do for this. If you have all your investments in a Roth, you can put 0. I don't. I'll just stick with 15% for the sake of simplicity. And let's see what this looks like over the next 20 years. So this is my portfolio today. Let's see what happens 20 years down the road. Now, clicking that, we can see if we scroll down a little bit. Wait for it to update on the screen on my end here. Okay, there we go. According to this, based on the inputs used, my portfolio should be valued at about $900,000 in 2043, 20 years from now. And at that point, I should be bringing in $53,000 of annual dividend income, which amounts to, amounts to 53,000 divided by 12. So about $4,400 or so every single month. Okay, 20 years down the road. So that's not too shabby. So this is how I use a dividend calculator. And this is one of the things, in regards to dividend investing being a slow burn, this is one of the things that really makes me feel okay about that and makes me motivated to just continue on in the face of how slow it can be. It's just seeing what this looks like. If you just deploy some patience and stay consistent, your pennies at a time that you're contributing today can really turn into something great. Time is such a huge, important factor. And that's why it's so important, just shouting out Jack Murphy again, that's why it's so important to start when you're young, because you can really bear the fruits and benefit from the fruits of those investments when you're, if you start investing when you're 16 or 17, by the time you're 37 or 40, you're going to have one baller portfolio. So anyway, this is how I use the market beat calculator. And what's crazy is if we just extend this time horizon, this just goes to show how important time is when it comes to compounding your portfolio and compounding your income. If we just extend this time horizon 5 more years, so 25 years instead of 20 years, look at that. The annual dividend income almost doubles, goes from 53,000 to 94,000 just with 5 more years. And if we, extend that even more, so 30 years out instead of 25 years, what's it do? It almost doubles again. Not quite, but close. Goes from $93,000 of annual dividend income to $165,000. Crazy. And that would leave me with a $2.6 million portfolio. Now, this is assuming that all of these inputs, are accurate, but who knows? Who knows? So anyway, that's how you use one of those. Let's see. Let's keep going. I think I might have missed some. No, I didn't. Um, Caleb, what's your thoughts on Altria Group? It's a dividend king, high dividend yield, seems steady. Yeah, that's my thought on it too. The risk that comes with Altria Group lies in, for the most part, there's a couple of them. Litigation risk is one of them. Being in the industry that they're in, they are, you know, pretty big targets, and there's a lot of regulation surrounding the industry. So, litigation and potential lawsuits is definitely something to be concerned about. But also, people's relationship and consumption of tobacco moving forward. Cigarettes specifically have been on the decline. Altria has been able to mitigate that by increasing the prices on their products. So they've actually grown in profitability, or at least stayed steady profitability over time. But that could change as we head into the future. Altria needs to and is working on maneuvering through this. So there's risk with that as well. And you'll have to just use your own discernment to try and determine what you think the future looks like for this company based on, what you think, how you think people will consume these products. So, and what that looks like. So, anyway, let's keep going here. Yeah, it is M. He says, I just need a loan, bro. I'll pay you back in 20 years once my SEHD takes off. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There was one question, though. Who asked it? I'm just going to scroll all the way back up to the top of this chat, because there was a good question that I wanted to address here. Bear with me as I try and find it, guys. Let's see. Where was that? I don't see it. I don't even remember who asked it. Okay. Here is one good question from Phil, though. Question: do you set aside a small amount of cash on the side for a market crash? If so, how do you allocate a certain percentage? So I don't purposefully do that. I actually have a pretty decent cash position right now. But it's kind of like an all-in-one. It's kind of like my emergency fund, my rainy day fund. It's investing money if I need it. But yeah, I don't purposefully set aside cash to invest, but I've got a pretty decent chunk of cash saved up right now that if things were to really head south in the market, I would feel okay. Like just investing a grand, a couple grand, maybe honestly even up to like $5,000 into the market if things continue to head south. So I'm kind of watching things. I'd love the opportunity to do that. And I've even thought about just being like, just saying screw it and investing like 10 grand into the portfolio just to get it up to like close to $60,000, a $60,000 value. But I'm not quite ready to do that. If things go south, will really consider that. But I mostly like to build cash, and you might possibly even make the argument that I have too much cash. But just based on what I do, my income goes up and down every month. And so just because of that, I like to have more cash, just because for what I do right now, like there is a lot of uncertainty and nothing's ever guaranteed. So I just like to give myself a cushion just in case something, anything could happen. I've been really fortunate so far since I've gone full-time with YouTube, but like I said, anything could happen. But yeah, I like to keep a lot of cash on the side just to cover myself for an extended period of time. If I need to pivot, if I need to, let's say hypothetically this doesn't work out and I need to go back to work, I've got enough cash that I'm good for like months, honestly. So, and I that makes me feel good. I feel good with that. And so that's mostly why I keep cash. Josh says, new watch, question mark? Kind of, sort of. This is, I showed you guys my Belova. I've been wearing that one. That's the gold two-tone watch. That one was a watch from my uncle who passed away. And this is actually another one. This is kind of a cool one, though. The brand is Bucherer. I think that's how you pronounce it. Let me see if I can get it up here. Really interesting looking dial. It's a skeleton dial, I think is what they call it. Let me see if it'll focus. Maybe I'm too close. Sorry, guys. Let me It's cool. I want you guys to see this. I need to get my face out of the way. There we go. Can you guys see that? So you can see the actual gears, the actual mechanisms of the watch in the dial. I don't know how well you can tell, but yeah, so the brand is Bucherer, which is a very old company. And this company, Bucherer, is actually the largest watch retailer. They bought Tourneau, which is a very popular, it's like, it's like just a store for buying different watch brands, just a retailer. And so they bought Tourneau, I think, within the last year. And Bucherer was actually bought out recently by Rolex, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, but the brand is known for being a retailer, but their founder was actually also a watchmaker, so they do make watches as well. But this is an old one. I don't think this one's. None of my watches are really. I do have an expensive watch, which maybe I'll wear on the stream sometime to show you guys. But outside of that, my watches are pretty affordable. So, like a couple $100 or less, I'd say. So, but there's some really nice cheap watches out there. And I think if I don't, honestly, I say this, but I don't think I would do it. I told myself the other day, and I told my fiance, if and when I get to 50,000 subscribers, I'd love to buy myself like a certain watch, and it's like $4,000 right now. But I think I like the idea of doing that, but at the same time, I think about that, and I'm like, no, because I would rather just put that into the market. I'd rather celebrate by giving myself the gift of more cash flow. So, okay, here's another good question. Ryan, if I were to sell out of a position, how soon should I do it if I recently bought shares? I don't know. I don't know that there's a certain period of time that you need to wait. If you feel ready to sell out of a position and you're sure, just do it. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's see. Oh, I got to shout out Nathan Robert too, who's also a super young gun. Nathan is 19 years old. I was just watching some of his videos last night. I love to see all you younger guys, and I'm younger too. I'm 30, so I'm not that old. But you guys in your teens still investing. You guys in your teens still investing. Not only investing, but also just sharing what you're doing. I think it's such a cool thing to see. So I really applaud you guys doing that. Keep up the good work. Let's see here. Dex says, I'm consuming an Altria product right now. Nice. Yeah, Tortoise, this is a good question. With REITs being up so badly, have you got your eyes on any new ones in particular? I'm watching Vici and AMT. Yeah, I was kind of considering Vici. Maybe at some point I'll buy it. It's tough, though. Let me show you guys what's going on my watch list right now. Vici kind of, it's always in the back of my mind. It's not officially on my watch list, but it's always one that's in the back of my mind. Here's what my watch list is looking like right now. Got Dolby Laboratories, DLB, which I just put on here. I'm excited to start researching this company. I have Norfolk Southern, a railroad company, on here. Rollins, which has been on here for a while, and I still have Shutterstock on here. But the more that I think about this one, I don't know that I'll end up investing in it. It's definitely cheap right now. It's getting cheaper. No debt, which there's a lot that I do like about the company, but I just don't. Man, I just feel like there's the barrier to entry. The barrier to entry to have this type of business is lower. I think they have a lot of competitors out there. And personally speaking, as someone who uses these products, and I can't really differentiate. Like for someone such as myself, it's, I can't really differentiate between Shutterstock or Adobe Stock or Motion Array or Pexel. So anyway, I think I might end up passing on Shutterstock. I'm still chewing on it and thinking about it more, but we'll see. Let's see. Keep going. Yeah, Pat says, don't forget you have a wedding to pay for. Fortunately, that's pretty much all taken care of already. We're doing a pretty affordable wedding, as affordable as we can without being just kind of lame. But Oh, and I also, this just came in from, I'll come back to the wedding thing. Zotang, thank you so much for the super chat, $2. I appreciate it. No, buy the watch for the 50K milestone. We'll see. We'll see what happens then. You know, I'll realistically, it'll be quite a ways, quite a while at the rate I'm going now. It'll be a little bit before I hit 50K. So I've got definitely have time to think about it. Yeah. Okay. So don't forget you have the wedding's more or less paid for. So that's good. Let's see. Okay, Modern Warrior. I invest around $100 every paycheck. I have about $2,000 right now invested, nice, in some dividend ETFs and REITs. Is $100 a check too low? That's honestly, that's totally your call. I think $100 per week, right? $100 a paycheck, so once every 2 weeks, right? So $50 a week. No, I think that's great, and I think it really just depends on how much you're comfortable investing. You know, I wouldn't just live like I wouldn't put have yourself living in squalor to invest a few more pennies every week. You know, just make sure you're comfortable, make sure you still are able to save money because that is important. Make sure you've got, you're still able to live, I think. And the most that you can invest outside of taking care of those things, then I think that's great. And I you'll know too, like as you get going more and you get some more reps in, more time investing, you'll find your groove and you'll figure out your sweet spot as it pertains to how much you want to invest. Me personally, like slowly but surely, I'm increasing the amount that I'm investing. Like I said earlier, I just up my contributions to my Roth IRA, not even by much. Like I went from $50 a week up to $65 per week. But that amount invested every single week over a long period, that additional amount every week over a long period of time is going to make a difference. But so I'm just kind of slowly increasing my contributions as time goes on. So just really like taking things slow and really acclimating before going too crazy, in any way, shape, or form. Luis says, how do you calculate your overall average dividend growth rate? Do you average the growth rate of each stock, or do you project your future income and calculate based on that? This is a great question. So it's just a formula to calculate the weighted average growth rate. You would take the growth. Let me just show you, actually. It's probably easiest. And I actually want your guys' feedback on this too, because I think there's a couple different possible ways to do it. Okay, what you start with is you take the dividend growth rate of each holding, right? So you take that number and you multiply that. So for Apple, for example, we would take 6.69 multiplied by Apple's allocation in my portfolio. So 6.69% times 2.44% plus the same for AbbVie, 12.34% times 3.12% plus the same for Chevron. And you do that all the way down. And you can see I'll just show you the formula right here. You can see it in the bar up there. It's quite a lengthy formula, but you can see how it works right up here. This is what all that looks like. So you just take that and then you end up dividing it by 100% because all the allocations here are going to add up to 100%. I believe that's how you do it. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But my understanding is that's how you do it. Alternatively, another way that I first did it is instead of multiplying it by each position's weighting, multiplying the dividend growth rate by the percent of income that it generates in the portfolio. So instead of 6.69 times 2.44, 6.69 times 0.28, 12.34 times 2.52. That's how I first did it, but I don't believe that's correct. I think you do it by the weighting of each stock in the portfolio. I believe. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. Nathan says, thoughts on BDCs right now? They seem to benefit from high rates. Yeah, I think great. In fact, if you look at them, the ones in my portfolio, I have Blue Owl Capital Corporation, I have Main Street Capital Corporation, and I know, Nathan, you were just talking about Ares Capital, which is another great one. So all of them have done really well this year. I don't know the exact performance off the top of my head, but I know. Let me just look. Actually, we can do that. Main, for example, year to date is up 7.5%. Okay, OBDC, and I think Aries might be the best performer out of all of them. OBDC is up double that, so 14.3%. And then Aries, I think, is up double digits as well, but I don't remember exactly. No, so Aries is not up nearly as much as Blue Owl. But there's another one, actually, that I always forget about, Hercules Capital. I actually, I would need to spend some more time with them, but at a glance from everything I've seen, this one looks like a pretty solid one. And out of the bunch, look, it's up 20% this year. So it's definitely doing well, and the dividend stats are looking great. Up 10% or 10% yield, really nice growth rate, really nice dividend growth history. So I think this is a great looking BDC so far. But yeah, I'm liking BDCs. Blue Owls is one of my highest income generators. I think Main Street's got to be up there as well. And I'm going to be working on some Dividend Kings coming up. I know I made a video on that a couple weeks ago. But with lows now, like under $190 per share, I can't not take advantage of that. So starting next week, I'm going to switch gears from buying Realty Income, which, like I said, I bought 7 shares this week. I'm up to 65 shares total of Realty Income now, which is cool. I'm going to switch gears and spend some time buying some lows for now and see if I can, give my dividend growth rate there a little boost. So let's see here. So Josh says, is it a bad idea to invest in the high yield stocks to help boost the more stable ones? Okay, I don't know if I 100% understand the question, but if you're asking, is it a bad idea to invest in high yield stocks and then use the dividends from those to reinvest into the dividend growth stocks? I don't know that it's a bad idea, but I think by doing so, I think you may just be looking for a way to justify buying the high yield stocks. I think if your ultimate goal is to boost the more stable ones, I think you just boost the more stable ones. I see a lot of people, specifically as it pertains, and this is not a dig or a diss, by the way. Everyone's got to do what they think is right. But this is something I notice. I do see a lot of people who invest in TSLY saying exactly that. Well, I invest in it and get the dividend from TSLY and use that dividend to reinvest into dividend growth stocks, aka more stable ones. I think if your ultimate goal by doing so, it just suggests that your end goal is to boost or prioritize dividend growth or stability. And if that's the case, man, I just think cut out the middleman. Just buy the dividend growth stocks. Just buy the stable one instead. So, and honestly, if what I said is true, which it may not be, probably isn't, but if subconsciously you're at the root of saying that, it's just a way to try and justify or maybe feel less guilty about buying the high yield stuff because you think you should be buying the dividend growth stuff. If that's what's going on, just be honest about it. If you want to buy high yield stocks, just be honest about it. Just say, I want to boost that income right now. I want to boost that current income. If that's what it is, if that's really what it is, just be honest about it. El Dynamico. Pay my expenses and I will perform for free at your wedding. Well, I mean, what would you perform? That's intriguing. Yeah, Dan says Tractor Supply is calling. Let's go. Join me in the farmers' tendies. Yeah, man. Tractor Supply is such an interesting retailer, and we're gonna wrap it up here in just a couple minutes, guys. But I listened to this really interesting podcast on Tractor Supply a couple weeks back, and one of the really interesting things about that company as a retailer is I just feel like it's at the intersection of a handful of different things because obviously Tractor Supply, it's got your farming equipment, it's got stuff like that. It may be, people as far as retailers go, some people like to compare it sometimes to something like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, but it's really not that. Like Tractor Supply, location-wise, they're often not, from my understanding, they're not, on purpose, they're not placed in the same locations as some of these other big retailers. They try and carve out their own space, but furthermore, what you can buy, you can buy things at Tractor Supply that you can't find anywhere else. You can buy chickens, you can buy chicks, you can buy obviously like feed for your animals. There's just things that Tractor Supply sells that you can't get anywhere else. It's a really, really interesting business. And as far as their employees go, so you go to Lowe's, you go to Home Depot, for example, maybe you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know exactly what you're looking for. you'd like to be able to rely on the employees to point you in the right direction, and you'd like to be able to talk to someone who has experience with this stuff, who's handy, who is good at fixing things and can, like I said, help point you in the right direction. You don't often get that, and I say this as a Lowe's shareholder. You don't often get that at these companies. A lot of times you do, but sometimes you don't. And what Tractor Supply does is they will hire their customers. They will notice people who regularly come into their store, and they will recruit them to be employees. And those are the type of people that you want. Those are the type of people that you want working for you, because if they're customers, they are practitioners of whatever their farming craft is. They're obviously knowledgeable about what they're doing. So those are the people that you want tending to your customers when they come in looking for, products to fit their needs. So I think Tractor Supply is a really interesting company, and it's one that I probably ought to give a closer look to, because it's, like I said, it's a really unique retailer. Money with Kazim. This is a good question. So, do you own your own houses? No, I'm renting right now. I do have some real estate. I actually just sold a rental property within the last month, and within the next couple of months, I'll probably sell another one. This other one's just a piece of land, though. It's not like a rental property. It's a piece of land. It is cash flowing, though, which is great. So, yeah, I do have some physical real estate. I rent my living arrangement right now. I just moved to Las Vegas a year ago, so in that transitional period, moving from California to here, it just for us made more sense to rent. And in the next year, we're going to be looking to buy. I've got a lot of, speaking of cash and just money set aside. I have a lot set aside for a down payment as well. So, let's see. Yeah, so this is a good question. Well, I think we'll wrap it up here too. Sorry, guys, I'm just looking at the other comments. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up here. Is there any reason you picked Lowe's and not Home Depot? And actually, before we wrap it up, there is one more thing I want to talk to you about real quick. Any reason you picked Lowe's and not Home Depot? So it's been a while since I initiated my position in Lowe's. But at the time, I remember, and they're pretty similar companies. Obviously, they operate more or less in a duopoly, and I don't think you can go wrong really either way. But at the time, I remember Lowe's being at the better valuation. It had the higher yield. I think the dividend growth rate in history is better. So overall, the dividend stats I liked more. The advantage that Lowe's seemed to have is their enterprise, or their professional. Working with professional contractors and stuff like that, they seem to have the advantage there. But Lowe's has been stepping it up in that department, and has been really working on building that up. So overall, there's just some things that I liked more about Lowe's than Home Depot. But I don't think you can go wrong either way. Rice says, "Good luck to you in your next real estate investment." Thank you. Been actually looking at some properties in my hometown. And I invest with my parents too, like my dad and I, and we do this together. So I'm not doing it by myself, which is cool, because he's got a lot of experience doing it. So it's cool to have been able. How do I say this? It's been cool being able to learn the ropes and do this with him. So, and Nell says, never spend your emergency money. What I was talking, I don't. Yeah, okay. I don't know what I was going to say. So there was one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. So and if you've tuned into the live streams, you've heard me talk about this over the last couple weeks. But starting in November, I'm going to be adding an additional live stream series. So we do this Dividend Happy Hour every week, obviously, right? Every Friday night we do this. Starting in November, I'm going to be doing a new live stream series. I don't know if it'll be permanent. I'm just trying it out and testing the waters, because I have an idea and I just want to see how it plays. But yeah, starting in November, I'm going to be doing a live stream series Monday through Friday in the mornings. Soon after the market opens, I'll probably start the stream at about 7 a.m. Pacific time, so 10 a.m. Eastern time. And my plan is to do that Monday through Friday, not for a full hour every day either. It's probably realistically going to be 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes max. It's going to be, yeah, like I said, Monday through Friday. It's going to be a morning stream, got a cup of coffee, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to call it yet, if anything, but I don't know if you guys can see this down here. You see that little orange thing? So that's actually a walking pad, a treadmill that I got. And the treadmill, actually, it goes like right here under my desk. So I can just walk. My desk is a standing desk. Sorry for the view. So I'm going to raise my desk, get the treadmill going, get my steps in the morning, do some walking, and stream with you guys Monday through Friday morning. And outside of investing, I'm very into health and fitness. Like I said earlier, if I ever end the stream tonight, I'm gonna go down to my apartment gym and get a workout in. But I figured this would be a good way to combine both of these things. And I think there's so much symmetry between, and this is one of the drinking rules, guys. There's so many symmetries between health and fitness and investing. At the very root of all of them, the reward comes from delaying gratification and basically doing things that you don't want to do. You don't get in shape overnight. It happens over an extended period of time. You don't build wealth overnight. It happens over an extended period of time. And in both, discipline and consistency are two non-negotiable tenets that you need to abide by. So anyway, I think this would be a fun way for me to combine the two, and also potentially maybe for some of you guys who are into this stuff, into health and fitness as well, or are thinking about getting into it, this could be a good excuse to do so. Maybe this is something we could do together, walk, get our steps in, and just hang out, talk some dividend stocks, whether you're able to watch it live or whether you watch it on replay. I think it would be, I think it could be a good way for some of you guys to get in this too, because, just like building wealth and investing, setting aside money for your future is important. This is the physical version of that. You've got to take care of yourself. And I think both are really important things to spend time on just to live a holistically good life. And so hopefully this can inspire and motivate you guys to do that as well. And also, when you get to the root of both of them, it's not being successful with either one is not about just crazy drastic changes. With investing, it's like just start setting aside $5 a week, $10 a week, and build from there. With fitness, it could be as simple as just starting by walking for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes on the treadmill. Nothing crazy. You don't have to kill yourself, but just a pace. You can, in 30 minutes, you could burn, maybe 100 calories, maybe somewhere between 50 to 100, depending on your pace. But that's kind of my plan. And with these live streams, we'll take a look at what the market's doing every day. I'll show you guys what's been going on in my portfolio. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that I can do some live buys. So maybe work a little bit of Market Mondays back into the mix, which I know a lot of you guys have been asking for. So anyway, there's a lot of cool places we can take it. I'll show you guys my dividend payments when they come in. So anyway, just kind of that stuff. It's just kind of going to be like a daily overview of what's going on. And also, obviously, some more Q&As, some more hangout session stuff as well. And I'm not 100% on the exact format. This is what I was saying. It's kind of going to be testing the waters in a lot of ways. But I think the idea is a fun one. I really want to try it out and see if it has legs and see if there's, see if it's something that's interesting to people. And hopefully, it drives consistent viewership and just like these dividend happy hours do. So, it's been really interesting to see this. I think, you guys will agree with me. These Friday night streams have become, almost ritualistic, right? It's like, I don't remember exactly who it is. Maybe it's Kevin. I don't remember who it was, but someone said, like, I tell my wife, I tell my kids, like, from, for this next hour, don't talk to me. This is what I'm doing. No plans. I'm showing up to the dividend happy hour, which I think is really cool. I'm really honored that you guys treat it that way, to be honest. So hopefully this new stream idea could be that as well. So, and also with that too, just because it's kind of a general overview of things, trying to work in some of the health and fitness side of things that I'm interested in. I'll probably, because I've been working on losing weight, and so I'll probably just update you guys too daily, like what's my weigh-in for the day, how much am I down, how many calories did I burn in this, how many steps did I get in on the stream, and stuff like that. So I'll probably update you guys with that as well. And just by the way, like, don't worry, I'm not gonna turn into like a fitness channel or anything. But we're diehard dividend investors until we die. But yeah, I just thought it'd be kind of a fun and fitting way to combine both of these things that I'm interested in. So yeah, that's going to be starting, like I said, in closing, that's going to be starting 1st of November. I think that's a Wednesday. I don't remember off the top of my head. But going to start that the 1st of November and see how it goes. So I'm going to try it Monday through Friday for the month of November and kind of go from there. If it doesn't seem like it's really working, or if I don't really see it being something that's scalable and something that I can be consistent with, then I won't do it. But if the opposite is true, then I'll definitely keep it going. But that's all I got for you guys. Okay, we went 15 minutes longer tonight. Wow. I got to go get a workout in. But in closing, guys, once again, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you so much once again for all of the support on the channel, because like I said earlier, if it wasn't for all of your guys' support and continuing to watch and tune in and just being a part of the community here, I wouldn't be able to contribute to my portfolio at all, and I wouldn't be able to hit these milestones. I'd be one sad boy. I'd be working a job that it's in my control, but I'd be working a job that's not nearly as much fun as talking about stocks and hanging out with you guys. So I'm so fortunate to do this, and you guys make it possible. So thank you guys all so much once again. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Tune into Sunday's video. It's going to be a good one. I worked really hard on it. I think you guys are going to like it. Tune into Sunday's video, but otherwise, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you guys in the next one. Keep up the great work, and yeah, I'm proud of you guys. Keep it up.